Okay, it should be started. There we go. Well, hello.
Hi.
I'm
Hey.
Crystal.
Hey, I'm Charlie.
Good. Sorry. She told me about something if it shows up here. And it was okay, it's doing it. Yeah. Oh, no. How are you today?
Good. Uh, you know, feel weird being here.
Oh, sure. Have you been to counseling before?
No, yeah, my doctor told me I needed to come here. I had to, talk before I start my treatment.
Okay. So your doctor sent you and you wouldn't normally come for a counseling session, is that right?
No.
Okay. Are you feeling, you're making a little like gesture with your face and I can't help but notice it. You seem a little frustrated to me.
I am. I don't feel that there's anything really wrong with me. Everyone's telling me something's wrong. And, my mom doesn't like the way I dress. My dad says, quit putting on that. Don't like that.
Oh,
And
goodness.
so they won't let me go anywhere with them. I feel like they're ashamed of me.
So it seems like you're having mostly issues with everyone telling you something's wrong with you, and your mom and dad specifically are not even wanting to be seen with you when you're dressed a certain way.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just how I feel, I don't like wearing dresses. I don't like that kind of stuff. I mean,
Right.
it's not how I am.
That must be very frustrating to have people maybe pressuring you to act in a certain way and dress in a certain way that feels like it's not natural to you.
Yeah, my girlfriend gets it.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
wonderful. Tell me
Yeah.
more about your girlfriend.
I met her through school, and
Mhm.
she gets exhausted with my parents too. I think she gets me. I think she gets what I'm going through.
That's good that you have a supportive person in your life. Is she the only one that you have right now that's supportive?
Yeah, but it's kind of a new relationship. So I don't tell her everything. You just kind of I haven't had too many close girl/friends. I always like to do more than boy things. Wanted to play baseball, couldn't play baseball. Just wasn't allowed to do it.
Oh, wow, you weren't allowed to play baseball. How old were you when this happened?
Oh, T-ball. What's T-ball? Like 4 or 5?
Oh, wow.
Never.
Wow. So it seems like you've been wanting to do things like play t-ball that others wouldn't allow you to do, maybe because of gender reasons or what have
My
you.
mom, she always wanted me to, yeah, put on dresses and
Mm-hmm. I'm so sorry. Okay, sorry. So it seems to me that you're having some issues that have been long term
yeah.
from when you were a child. Do you remember when all this began? Can you tell me more about that?
I remember one specific birthday. I was given like a Barbie doll, and and I got so angry. I threw it at my aunt. I don't want Barbies.
So even when you were a child, people were trying to pressure you to act in a certain way that you felt was not a good way for you to act.
No, my mom painted my room pink.
Mm.
I was just, so, I quit high school. I went and got my GED. I just got that.
That takes a lot of courage, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was the stresses at school. Everybody, you know, yell out mean stuff. They were just mean. Kids are mean.
Oh goodness, yes. Kids can be really cruel to each other. That's so sad. It must have made you feel so frustrated and rejected maybe and put down by others. Tell me more about how you felt in school. Did you have a close knit friend that you were
No,
able to confide in? Any
No.
groups of friends now? How was that being in school and?
No, I tried to join the fishing club.
Mm.
Yeah, that didn't last very long.
So it sounds to me like you've always been trying to do things that were really of interest to you, but others have been kind of quashing those things.
Yeah, I mean, I just, sometimes it's lonely.
I can imagine so, definitely. Sounds like you feel like no one understands you, except for maybe this new relationship person, your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about your girlfriend.
You know, she doesn't like fish.
Okay.
Met her when we started going to school together. No, I moved away from my parents, and so that was a little bit better. But you know, she she's a good cook,
That's awesome.
and I don't like to cook. So, but she's just I don't feel like she's ashamed of me. And
How
so,
does that make you feel when you know that you have somebody who's not ashamed of you and who is supportive of you? Tell me a little bit about that.
I almost wonder. I mean, I'm afraid. I'm afraid because I don't. I've never been around anyone and gone out socially and that didn't like. I don't know. Just I feel like she gets me sometimes, but I know I feel like I'm exhausting.
Sounds like you have a lot of conflict in your life right now, but it's good. It sounds like you did move out from your parents. So what is your present living situation?
I'm just in student housing.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're on campus?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And what kind of, are you in an apartment setting, in a dorm?
I'm in
me
an
about that.
apartment because I didn't really want to live with anybody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So you live
that-
alone.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't want to live with a bunch of frilly girls.
So the school was gonna make you live in the girl housing?
I tried to get in the guys' dorm, but
Mhm.
nobody really wanted to room with me, obviously.
That must have been very disappointing and frustrating.
Yeah.
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 So how long ago did you meet your girlfriend?
Oh, it's only been maybe a month.
Oh wow, so
Yeah.
it's extremely
Yeah, it's
new.
very new. Yeah.
That's
I
really
mean,
awesome.
I guess I'm using the term loosely when I say girlfriend.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your relationship with her.
You know, we like to, go listen to music together
Mhm.
and drink beer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's kind of a different field. I think her interests are a little bit different than mine, but I guess that's okay. I haven't been exposed to a lot, I don't feel, because, I just kind of cooped myself up.
So you feel like you've been a little sheltered some your life. How was it growing up? Did you have siblings? Tell me a little bit about the family dynamics.
Only child. I
Oh
was an
wow.
only child, yeah. So, I didn't really, I have no one to play with. I didn't even have anyone, sibling to play with.
Did you have any cousins you would get together with?
Yeah,
Or?
yeah. I mean, every now and then, but it wasn't, kind of grow up and kind of detach a little bit. I think my parents didn't really want to go visit them. That's how I felt. But they didn't want to take me there. It's kind of how I felt. They didn't want me around them.
Oh wow, that must have been extremely hurtful to you.
Yeah, I just felt like I'm a big disappointment to them.
Wow, I can't even imagine. I know that's very hard to think about and hear. I'm glad you came in today to talk because this is a safe place for you to just talk about anything you want to talk about and nothing will ever leave this room. Okay. How's your relationship now with your mom and dad since you've moved out? Has there been any improvement?
I don't talk to them. I've never been the talkative type, so I don't pick up and talk to her every day. I'm closer to my dad as far as I would follow him around. But I was, following him around, he's working on the car, changing the oil, stuff like that. But no, I'll call my mom every now and then. She calls me, I'll call her back.
Well, that's good. At least you're, having some communication with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you're much closer to your dad because you share interests with him.
Yeah, I was kind of, I always felt like I'm kind of brat to follow him around, but, yeah,
Yeah, because you were interested in what he was doing more so than your mom
yeah.
when you were growing up.
Yeah, she always wanted to braid my hair. I'm gonna do that.
Because that didn't seem like something you wanted to do and it didn't seem natural to you. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it must have been extremely frustrating knowing your whole life that you didn't want to do these things like wear dresses, get your hair braided, and get Barbies for your birthday present, and people still just kept on, not even letting you play T-ball.
No.
That must have been extremely frustrating. And you didn't even have any siblings to confide in. Tell me how it's like growing up with no siblings because I have siblings, so I want to know from you what it was like for you personally to grow up with no siblings as the only child.
I look at other people and it looks like, they're having a lot of fun with their siblings or, they have family picnics and stuff like that. And we just didn't do that. Both my parents worked, so we didn't do that. So, you know, I don't know. You hadn't been involved in it. You don't really know, do you?
Yeah, but it sounds like you feel like you might have missed out on some fun times if you'd
Oh,
have
I'm
had siblings.
Probably, but don't always. I didn't have the fighting either, so
That's true.
so
You have to take the good with the bad
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Very true.
yeah.
But you've started your school, and you said earlier, I didn't want to forget about this, I wanted to mention this with you, that your doctor had told you to come. Tell me a little
Yeah.
bit about your doctor and
All right.
why you think he wants you to come, and or she.
Well, I was told I had to come, and I had to, I had to have some sort of counseling because my goal is I really want to start hormones.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I just think that would make me feel more on the. I get what I want to achieve on the outside, what's going on inside.
Then you'd maybe have a better match of what's inside would be reflected on the outside as well. Is that right?
Yeah, so I'm not just what people call me, just nasty things like call me like dyke and stuff like that. No, I'm not.
That must be really, really hurtful when
I get it. I'm
say that.
I'm more, my mannerisms are like a boy and stuff, but you know.
So you really have felt this way for a very long time, and now you're ready to take some steps to make it where your physical appearance matches what's going on inside of you and how you really feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you see yourself exploring these options with your doctor? Have you made any decisions about that? Is this something you'd like to discuss in counseling or?
Yeah,
what are
I
your
mean,
thoughts?
I'm cool with that. You know, I don't like these things.
Right.
It's just.
That must feel like a mismatch to you
Yeah.
because it doesn't match the way you perceive yourself.
And I just don't get, I don't get why I feel like this on the inside and yet I'm not on the outside.
Well, you're definitely not alone. I have met people before who've been in your situation, and it is not easy. I'm not going to tell you it's easy because it's not. But it is something that we can work on in our sessions here, and we can work on, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about that week, and I'll give you little homework assignments, and, we can have a safe place for you in here to just be open about anything you want to talk about. How do you feel going forward? Do you want to continue to come with me? Has your doctor told you anything about what he or she expects from you with counseling?
No, not really. I just know this is kind of one of the things they want off their checklist. I guess, malpractice and whatever.
Oh, right. So it's really not a pleasant situation for you to be here
It's
at
just a
all.
little bit, it's just like another I feel like it's another blow. But it's okay. I mean, nothing against you at all.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but kind of want to, I made up my mind. I've been living with this since I was a kid.
Right.
So, why can't, now that I'm an adult, I don't get it. Just don't get it.
Can you think back in your past as a kid was there anyone who maybe understood what you were going through or was supportive of you in any way?
No.
A grandparent?
No. Yeah, no. I mean, no, I mean, our parents are older anyway, so.
Okay. And no siblings, so it must have really felt lonely and not supported at all. So going forward, maybe we can work on getting you some, more support systems, strengthening your support systems, and that sort of thing too. I feel like that's very important to have a good support system going forward. Now, what about your doctor? Have you got a timeline with him or her on how these will
I
progress?
think he said something like 6 months, something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I go back next month. I'll figure it out. I don't know. Just know it's stressful and.
And tell me a little bit more about your relationship with your mom, because I know you had mentioned that she bought you dresses a lot and wanted you not to play t-ball. Tell me a little bit about the t-ball situation. Did she actively get involved in that and make it impossible for you? What went down with that?
No, she tried to stick me in a ballet class.
Oh, wow.
I mean, my God, really? Who does that?
So she wanted you to do ballet and you wanted to do t-ball. And instead of letting you do t-ball, she just stuck you in a ballet class.
Yeah.
How long were you in there?
I think I just sat in the corner. I don't even think I participated. I can't quite remember. It's been so long ago. But yeah, I think I just sat down, like, started crying.
Wow.
Like, what is this?
Did you think you were going to t-ball when you made your mother?
No, I knew she was completely.
Okay.
I know she ex-nayed that.
So did she just tell you you're not going to do that, Charlie?
Yeah, I know it was a big fight with my parents.
Oh.
My dad didn't care so much. He just, he didn't care. But she was not gonna have that. She likes the princess type girls, She likes that type.
So it sounds to me like your dad wasn't really accepting of it, but yet wasn't putting up a fight about it.
Yeah.
But your mom was putting up a fight about everything.
Yeah. Definitely, for sure.
That must have really strained your relationship with her.
That's a little different.
Mm-hmm. And now, how old are you now?
I'm 20 now.
20, okay. And what are you studying in college? Tell me a
little
bit
I
about
don't know.
college.
I don't have a clue. I don't know what I want to do, but
Well, you can always take some core classes and get those out of the way, and take a few that you maybe are interested in, and see what sticks when you do that. So it's good that you're going to college, though.
Yeah.
Did you ever foresee yourself going through college?
I mean, I know it's what my parents expect of me.
Oh, okay.
I'm not opposed to it.
Okay.
I mean, lots of girls around.
Mm-hmm.
So.
You've definitely gotten to meet new people. Your girlfriend, you got to meet her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel more comfortable here than I do at home.
So you feel like people on campus are more accepting of you than people at home?
Well, they are here than they were in high school. In elementary school, man, it was rough.
Tell me a little bit about elementary school. How did you dress? What were your relations like?
I cut my own hair off. I wanted it short. Okay. And, always, when I went to the bathroom with my mom, people were like, why are you bringing this boy in here? And of course, my mom, she's like, see? So you don't cut your hair off.
So she used that moment to kind of try to teach you a lesson about your girls are supposed to have long hair.
Just be ladylike, yeah.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your religion and your family's religion.
We're Southern Baptist,
Okay.
raised Southern Baptist. Didn't want to dance anyway, so I guess that's good.
Were you and your family very active in church as a child?
My mom she's real social, so she likes to go,
Mhm.
she likes to do that, and they have some knitting circle and jibber jabber, but she quit going because she blamed it on me. But
Oh wow. How did that conversation go?
I think I just kind of tuned her out, but she was saying that all the ladies kept giving her advice, and she's like, I can't change her.
So the other ladies were telling your mother, why don't you try this, that, and the other with Charlie, and maybe giving her advice on how to change you so that you would be more ladylike?
I guess.
That must have been very disturbing to you to hear, and really hurtful to be blamed for her not being able to participate in church.
Yeah.
So after that, was she as active in church or not so much?
When I said I didn't want to go, my dad didn't like to go a lot. So I just kind of stayed at home with him.
Okay.
And she went off and did her social functions, church and stuff.
So she continued
Oh,
there.
yeah, she doesn't, yeah.
Okay, but not so much you. She didn't force you to go.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
But being raised Southern Baptist, I'm sure there's some, things that you may have struggled with.
I think I've heard every
with
biblical quote there is. I've got it's not right to be gay. I don't feel like I'm gay. I don't feel like that.
So how do you see yourself?
Yeah, I just kind of feel I don't understand why I'm lacking some things and other extra things. I just
And you're ready to take some action
yeah.
to change the situation.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of courage to get to this point. So I don't want you to forget that, having a plan is different than actually being willing to take action to make some of your goals achievable and obtainable to you. So that's very courageous, and I want you to know how much courage that takes from people to actually go through with something that they feel will make their life complete. And plus, like you said before, make your inside and outside match each other. So that's very courageous, and I definitely admire you for that. What about the college now? You said you live in an apartment by yourself and you have a girlfriend. Do you have transportation? Did you get here okay today?
Yeah. I have a motorbike.
Okay. And do you do a lot of time studying? Do you have a part-time job? Tell me a little bit about that.
No, I'm not. I'm not really working now. I'm just full-time student really.
Okay, so you study and do the
It's a
school
lot of
thing.
money, yeah.
Definitely. So, and now what about the surgery? Are you doing the surgery? Tell me a little bit about what you plan on having
Yeah,
done.
eventually I want to do that. I mean, I think hormones first, to be honest, and then right now I can cover myself up and stuff like that, so it's not so
Because of the
out
weather.
there. Well, the weather and just things I can do to get rid of these.
Yes, and diminish and what have you.
Yeah.
Make yourself feel more like a match with the way you are now.
Yeah.
So that's good that you're doing those things, definitely to make yourself feel more comfortable. So you're going to start with the hormones and then see how that goes. Is the thing that's stopping you, would you do the surgery now if you were able to financially, or is that a problem or not a problem at all?
No, it wouldn't hurt my feelings one bit.
Okay.
No, yeah, absolutely.
So your ultimate goal,
Yeah.
what is your ultimate goal? How do you see yourself when this conflict is resolved? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to look more like a boy.
Mm-hmm.
I want to look like a
Mm-hmm.
boy. I obviously already act like one.
And you want all the anatomy to look like a boy, is that correct? You want to go all the way with it?
I think so.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you said you think so. So it sounds to me like you're almost there, but you're kind of, there's a tiny bit of hesitation.
Well, I mean, I know what I want gone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's money's an issue too, and
Right.
so yeah, I think my ultimate goal is to definitely reflect completely on the outside.
Okay, okay. I wanted to talk with you about that and see if you had already made your mind up about that, or
Yeah,
if that would be something we want to explore some in counseling sessions or what have you. Sounds like you've pretty much made up your
I
mind.
think I made it. Yeah, I made up my mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That must have taken a lot of soul searching, or has this been something that you've wanted for a long, long time?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I think it's just there. It's just in me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is there something wrong in my head? I mean, do I not have? Am I missing something? Do I need some kind of meds? What?
You're definitely not, I don't want you to think that there's something wrong with you. Sometimes society has gender roles that they feel like are appropriate. And I have a little bit of a background in feminist therapy. And in feminist therapy, what we do is we debunk some of the societal gender roles that, basically, women are, when you look at a magazine, they're supposed to be gorgeous, flawless, very thin, long hair,
Right.
the picture that society keeps cramming down everybody's throat. So, definitely society has their ideas, but that doesn't mean that you have to embrace what society has thrown at you.
I mean, I know I'm disappointing my mom. I know she wants grandkids and stuff like that, but there's no way.
So, how do you feel about kids? Would you be
That's
wanting to
fine.
have kids with a partner or not really?
I mean, I'm not opposed to kids. It's just that I don't want to have them.
You just don't want to birth them.
Yeah.
Okay.
No
And
way.
a lot of women feel that way. A lot of women, you see celebrities all the time have surrogates and what have you. So I don't want you to think that that avenue is totally closed to you if you go this route, because there are options for you if you want to have children one day. But not every woman or man should have children.
I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the Kardashians.
And you're pretty far away from that. You're only 20. But I wanted you to be knowledgeable about the fact that you do have options, even if you do have this surgery, that you could still have children.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk a little bit about when you're gonna start the hormones now, or is your doctor maybe making you wait till after this counseling?
I gotta wait. I gotta have so many counseling sessions.
Okay.
I mean, I understand. I get that there's a lot of people that do things on whims, but I mean, this is different. I mean, this isn't just, like I'm not asking to go get a tattoo or something. I mean, this is something I've been dealing with since I was little.
Right. And it sounds like very little almost from when you can first remember.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So your interests and your feelings seem to match more closely with the male gender than the female gender.
By far, yeah.
And it's been a long-term process.
Yeah.
So I know you've been through years and years of struggling.
Yeah, it's very painful. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Tell me how you feel when your mother talks with you and tries to pressure you and get you to be more, quote, ladylike.
Well, I think she's kind of given up by now.
Okay.
I mean, I just told her. I mean, I tried to explain to her for Mother's Day, probably the wrong thing, gave her a book, but, but she just thinks I'm gay. I'm not gay.
So you seem to view yourself as a heterosexual male. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And that's why you have a girlfriend. So yeah, that would make sense to me. But your mother seems to feel like you're gay.
She's like, you don't have a penis. So,
Mhm, mhm. Now that must be frustrating with her calling you gay when you obviously do not feel like you're a gay individual.
I mean, no, I mean, there's so many other things to worry about in this world that I don't get why my own mother has to stereotype me into something.
And you mentioned too that the kids in school called you words like that as well,
Yeah.
which were not, that must have felt so weird for you to be called something that you definitely do not identify as.
Yeah.
So how do you feel when people fling like labels and stereotypes your way that are not fitting at all with what you feel?
Well, I think, I don't like it. I mean,
Hmm.
I I yelled at because I was, I don't know, I just had this fascination with, just taking a razor blade. I wasn't trying to kill myself. I
Hmm.
wasn't trying to do that, but I just kept cutting myself and it just kind of sort of eased the pain a little bit.
How long ago did you last do that?
Ah, you know, my girlfriend doesn't like it, so, I usually wear long sleeves and,
Hmm.
I still have some scars and stuff, so.
Do you do that frequently or how often about?
No, what's frequent? I mean,
Like how many times a month would you say you do that?
oh gosh, it when I have my period,
Okay.
that's pretty troubling. It stresses me out. Why is this happening? And
I'm sure
you
that
know,
makes you very upset to have a period because it's definitely nothing that you identify
no,
with.
I feel like it's so foreign. This shouldn't be happening.
Right.
So,
Now, part of the counseling, as you had read in the welcome packet, if you are harming yourself, I do have to address those issues with you. So I want to bring back out, we do have some paperwork. It sounds like since you said your girlfriend didn't like it, that it has gone on more recently. Because I think you had said that she was about a month. You had been with her for about a month or two. So we do have a contract that we actually like for our clients to sign, okay? Now, I don't want you to feel like, oh no, I can't do that, or like this is basically is it's an agreement between yourself and me, okay? And you're agreeing not to kill, harm, or injure yourself,
no,
okay, in
I'm
any
not like that.
manner.
I'm not trying to kill myself.
Right. But the self harm, we do have to address that because it is a serious thing, and I can have that omitted if you want me to, and just leave in harm, because of the coding.
Okay.
But we do have to, address that and, get a contract going together. And I do need you to think for just a minute,
Okay.
Charlie, about important people in your life that you can call on and talk to. Let's say if the offices were closed or I was out of town or what have you. Of course, I'll give you my number and you can call me if you have an emergency situation. But if you don't reach me, I want you to have three other individuals that you can call. Now, I always suggest to people you can also make 911 one of your contact people. Because if you're thinking of cutting yourself or harming yourself, you can call them and get help from them as well. Okay. But I do need you to go ahead and I'm going to witness you signing this contract. Okay. so that you'll promise not to harm yourself. And we'll do one of these every week when you come in. It's not gonna be a long-term thing. We're gonna do it week by week. Because sometimes when you're dealing with something that's this serious, and obviously you said it relieved some of the pain, so for you, how do you feel after you cut yourself?
It's kind of like a little bit of tension is released. A little, I know it doesn't make sense to, most people.
I understand though, especially when you said you do it more so when you have your period. It seems to me like you're doing it because you're agitated and frustrated and this thing is happening to you that you don't feel like is something that should be happening to you because it's a womanly thing to have happen and you identify as a male. So I definitely can understand that. Definitely. So let's go ahead and do this self-harm contract here. And I just want you to think about 3 people. I definitely would put your girlfriend down, put me down, and of course my office hours. You've got my business card and what have you with my office hours. And then there are crisis centers. If you can't think of 3, I will put a crisis hotline down for you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And this is just gonna be valid till next week when you see me. Okay. And we're just gonna take it week by week because it seems like you've been using this as a coping skill for some of the frustration and stress that you've been under. And we're gonna use some of our time, I feel like, to develop some other coping skills that are more positive for you.
Okay.
Okay, and you said your girlfriend didn't like it.
Yeah, no.
So it'll probably
It's pretty important.
Yes, obviously she's a very important person. So we want to definitely, and I feel like the reason she doesn't like it is because, to her, you're a very important person and she doesn't want anyone to hurt you, even your own self.
I guess that's a good way of looking at it, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll just do this every week and we'll do a new one. And at the next session, we'll do another one and we'll talk about whether, you did harm yourself or not. And, if you did, we'll talk about different ways that you can approach it the week after. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. Now I'm going to sign it as a witness because it is a contract, so I have to sign it too. And all right, thank you. Okay. And of course, we have this, and I'll give you a copy of this too before you leave so that you'll have it. It does have the hotline right down here in the crisis center. Okay? All right. How do you feel about that with me having a contract? What are your feelings?
So weird. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if someone were wanting to commit suicide, I mean,
Right.
papers don't stop them. But I guess, if you have it in front of you, maybe you see those people written down,
Mm-hmm.
you do have someone.
Exactly. So maybe we can use it as a visual reminder for you so that you can look at this sheet and say, oh, I do have options.
Yeah.
And maybe the first time in this week that we're going to have between now and the next session, if you do feel like harming yourself and cutting yourself, instead of doing that, you can call one of those numbers and see, how that goes. Is that good? That sound like something you can do?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That sounds great. So I want to talk too about, you said you are having periods and what have you. Are they regular?
One's too many.
Mm-hmm.
But gosh, what's regular? Once a month kind of thing? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have them once a month?
Yeah, I mean.
Okay. So every month you're getting this and you're feeling that stress and pressure and probably a lot of disgust as well because you don't feel like you need to be getting this womanly.
No, my
Thing.
girlfriend says I need to get this, period tracker on my phone so I don't forget. I'm like, lots of flowers on my phone.
Oh, right. So it was the flowers on the app that made it kind of.
It's ridiculous.
Now-
Again, I feel like pink's being thrown in my face, but I get her point. I see her point, but still.
So she was saying for you to possibly do that. Why do you think she suggested that to you?
No, I mean, I don't know. I know that's what she does.
Maybe she suggested that because she thought you could at least try to mentally prepare yourself for what was coming. Do you think that's a possibility?
I guess that is a possibility, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I could be happy without it, though.
Right. And hopefully when you do the hormone treatment,
Yeah.
is that something has your doctor discussed with you? Will that make that subside?
That's the first step, is what he said. Well, this is the first step, but that's the
Okay.
next physical step.
So the hormones
changing.
will make the periods go away.
That's my understanding.
How would that make you feel to know that you will not
It'd
have
be
any more
great.
periods?
Great.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. I could deal with that.
Yeah. And then there'd be no need for the app.
Hey, two birds, one stone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I can sense, that's the first time I really saw you smile.
Aw.
And the whole session was, when you were anticipating having the hormone treatment. So to me, that means this is extremely important to you.
Very much so.
So the quicker we can get you to that point, the better. And by us meeting every week for 6 months, like your doctor said, we will make progress towards that goal. How does that make you feel?
Every week? Wow. Okay.
It's a little overwhelming. I can tell you're a little overwhelmed. Because you said you're not a talkative person mostly, and so this has got to be a little bit weird for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you're not used to expressing your feelings to people and what have you, so you're coming in here and somebody's forcing you to be in counseling and you don't really feel like you need to, and I can understand that would be extremely frustrating as well.
I guess I don't want a doctor who skipped college and went straight to med school, but yeah, I guess it's kind of just a step.
Mm-hmm. So you see it more as like a means to an end, basically.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely feel like I'm on the right train, but.
Okay, that's encouraging. That's encouraging. At least you're making progress towards your goal. And 6 months from now, who knows? You may be getting those first hormone treatments and feeling way better than you felt in a long time because you'll be taking the real steps towards making the outside of the inside match. Mm-hmm. Have you discussed all of this with your girlfriend?
No, she gets it. She's not opposed. I mean, she sees how I am now. I mean, I'm far from, fairy princess, but, not, I'm not all sweet and roses, but, I mean, she's compared me to other boyfriends.
Oh, how did that make you feel?
I didn't mind it.
I bet it made you feel
I didn't
pretty
mind
good.
it, yeah.
Yeah. Because was that the first time anyone had compared you
Well,
to?
she's like really the first girl I've ever dated.
Oh,
So.
wow. That is huge then, definitely. So you said she's not opposed. Is she supportive of
Yeah,
the
I
surgery?
mean, again, this is a new relationship and
Mm-hmm.
really my first relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of apprehensive just to, vomit everything out on her, but.
Oh, yes, I'm sure. You don't want to scare her away with too much information,
Right.
but it sounds like this is the beginning of a really good relationship for you and a healthy relationship where you can be who you feel like you truly are.
Yeah.
And that's important. A lot of people do not have that. So that's a very great thing that you have going for yourself right now. That must make you feel really happy to have someone that special.
She's pretty cool.
Hmm. And what about your parents? Have you told them about your going to do hormones and what have you?
No, I tried to tell my mom, and
Mhm.
I think she thinks I'm out, out in outer space or something. I think she thinks I'm crazy, and that,
Oh, wow.
I'll come around. I need to, she tried to get me to join a sorority.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
It didn't happen.
So she's kind of given up on certain things, but
Yeah, I
she
think
just
she-
has to do that one little
I think it
thing.
was, I think she was joking, but,
Okay.
she was part of some sorority, and she's like, oh, you can get right in, legacy or whatever. So it's, I don't know. Again, back to a little church knitting circle. I felt like I don't like that kind of stuff. So
It just threw you right back at that
she was
young age.
nuts. Yeah, she was nuts. Like,
Yeah.
maybe she should come with me. But
Now, do you think your dad would? I mean, have you tried to speak to him about this or not really?
nah, mm-mm, mm-mm.
So tell me about your dad and yourself. It's really interesting. I'm curious to know more about how you guys interact and what your relationship is like.
He's a quiet man. He's a really
Okay.
quiet man. So
Mhm.
he doesn't really, say too much. I feel like my mom talks to him all the time, but
Okay. But he seems to not really be opposed to things. Is he supportive or just neutral?
I kind of think he's neutral. I'm not gonna say
Okay.
supportive because I don't think anybody's supportive. I mean, I know it's a big
Mhm.
blow to him. I mean, I get that, you give birth to one thing, but yet that child is not that. It's just not that internally. So,
Mhm. Mhm. So what does he do when your mother is like fussing at you? Tell me, like, if your mom's fussing at you about these issues,
he tells
what's he
Nancy to
doing?
give it up, Nancy.
Okay.
He'll say stuff like that. And I know, I don't know if he's annoyed with me or annoyed with her. I don't know.
Do you think, now it sounds like,
I mean, I think they're getting on better now that I'm out of the house.
okay, okay.
So,
But it sounds like he's almost defending you and at least wanting her to stop getting on your case so much. But you kind of are conflicted and
I don't
think
know.
maybe
Yeah.
he just doesn't like arguing, possibly.
I think he just doesn't like the arguing. I don't like to argue.
Right.
So, I mean,
And you seem really a lot like him in the fact that you said he doesn't talk much, you don't like to talk much, so that your mother talks for him a lot, and he doesn't like conflict, and you don't appear to like conflict either.
no.
But yet it seems like conflict follows you a lot because of
That's a
everything
good
going
way.
on.
Conflict finds me. Yeah.
Hmm. I know that has to be very frustrating for you.
Yeah.
So, we're going to talk about a lot of things going forward. I would like for you as homework, if you can, to call your mom and see if you can go and maybe eat dinner one day with her and your dad. And just see if you can eat dinner with them one day and see how it goes. Since you've moved out now, when's the last time you've had dinner with them?
Oh gosh, it was around Christmas time.
Okay, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I feel like you do have some value with your relationship with your parents, but if you don't, then I'll come up with another homework assignment for you. I don't want to force you to do anything you're not comfortable with, but
So I just gotta have dinner with them.
yeah,
Alright.
and just see what happens because I'm interested to know how things are now that you're not living there at the house, and see how things go,
Okay.
with the family. Sometimes absence makes the heart grow fonder, as they say. And it can do a lot for a relationship to have some time apart.
Okay.
So that's what I'd like for you to do. But if you don't feel comfortable with it, just let me know and I'll come up with a different homework assignment for you. Okay? Because you're going to need a lot of support going forward. And I really would like to try to, it seems to me like you definitely are vested in having a relationship with your father at least. And, I'd
He's
like to, okay, so you think
Yeah.
you would be interested in having a relationship?
Yeah. I mean, I love my dad.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't not love my mom. I love my
Right.
mom, but she's a struggle.
It sounds like she has really a lot of expectations of you that you don't have of yourself.
Yes.
hmm Yeah.
Yes.
And that you feel like are not ever going to happen. So, yeah, that must be really, really frustrating.
It is.
Definitely. So, we're going to talk more about all this going forward, and I'm going to hear all about your dinner with your parents when you come back, and we'll talk about that too. Okay.
Okay.
All right, and remember, I'm gonna Sally up front will have you a copy of this contract before you leave. All right.
Gotcha.
Okay, it was very nice meeting with you today.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you for coming, and we will talk next week.
Gotcha.
All right.